So my name's Edda and I've chosen Scandium as my site.
My name is Nelly Iweri. I designed for Conrad. So the idea was to create something simple. Well, the process was not simple. The process to get me here was not easy, but the idea I had in my head was something simple. Something that would show off the materials that we're using, that would not take away from it. So that's pretty much it.
My name's Amina Badani, and I didn't have a retailer. I just made it and hopefully it got picked for any of them, to be fair. So I didn't really pick any retailer in specific.
I'm Vanessa and I chose Scandium as my site.
My name is Beatriz dos Santos and I use Bow as a retailer because they have a window sill outside and that's where my Parasites stands for.
My name is Rania Dare and my retailer was Designers Guild.
The task was to create a parasite, and to me I wanted to have something hanging, and that was in my mind when we were going out looking at the sites. So it had the perfect spot to hang something, and it was the first site we went to. We went around to 8 sites, and actually it was the first one was in my head. I wanted Scandium because it had the perfect spot to hang my objects.
It was the only one that had something that I could hang something from, and also I'm Scandinavian, so it kind of felt like
The very end, their product range is not just interiors. They do with products as well. They do. They're very into innovative, new, upcoming, and I believe their work is very simple. It's very minimal. Even their window shops is very clean, minimal, and it's not. Even though there's color, it's not harsh. It's very inviting and very
So I wanted it to be purposeful. So I wanted to make something that people could use and they could use it every day. So I wanted to create something that they could perhaps leave their leaflets. So when I was going around to the shops, I found that a lot of places had leaflets or posters or things that people could take away, like the consumer. So I thought, have something that they could have outside and have these things laying out, as you can see with one of the leaflets here from one of the paint shops. So it just leans against the wall, and it's quite. I wanted it to be repetitive. I wanted it to be seamless as well, and every piece be the same as the next one.
When I went into the site, I saw that they had a chair there that got my attention. It was from Carl Hansen. It was a weave chair that they were talking about, so I thought maybe weaving would be a thing that I would do, and then I started weaving with like plastic and different kinds of materials, kind of like taking a weak material and making it strong by weaving. So that was my whole idea. Definitely the frame, because I knew that I wanted to do a chair, and I wanted to use the ribbons because my teacher Nick had them stacked. It's from a previous student's work. So he had them, and he really wanted me to use them for the weaving. And then I wanted to make the frame, but I could not get that first because I didn't want it to look chunky, but we had to use the palette. So
yeah, of course, because it had to be recycled materials. So is the idea that people sit on it? Is it?
Yeah, you can sit on it. It's really comfortable, actually. No, it's really strong.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, it is.
I went through the materials first. I did research about materials which I can use, and then I did some research about how can we make the furniture or other things, because when I think about parasitic, I went through furniture straight away. I don't know why, but I like cushions and how to do cushions inside and other things. That's the kind of research I did.
I chose them because when I went over, we went for a walk around all the 8 Marylebone Interiors Day shops, and it was very vibrant and very colourful, so it like grabbed my attention. And one of my friends said she got wallpaper from there, but there was no wallpaper on the window, so you only see like the furniture. So I thought maybe it would be good to like attract people, like move, because they have the wallpaper at the back of the shop, so I thought just bring it to the front.
So I chose newspaper as my material, and so I wanted to show that you can make things out of such a fragile material. I looked into making pulp and different ways of using newspaper, and layering was the most efficient and simpler way of making something hard that can be hung. Yeah, and the colouring process, I had to do a lot of research on that because it needs to be easy to recycle as well. So
I was actually inspired by a shop in Marylebone High Street. Farrow and Ball had outside during winter. They had umbrellas made out of wallpaper. Oh. So I thought, well, Marylebone Interiors Day is going to be during summer, so I thought of a fan. So I like researched into hand fans and how they open and close and just how, you know, the mechanism works. So then I went into the workshop and started experimenting. I think they want it inside the shop, but I was thinking of outside or maybe behind the window because it's quite an interactive piece. It can sit all the way to the ground with the pallets to the side, and then you can open 180. Wow. Or I have it now on the wire just to show it, but there is these strips, and someone can stand behind it, lift it up, it looks like a little skirt, and they can put it on Instagram, and that could make, you know, bring advertisement to the shop.
As you can see, it's made with bubble wrap. This is a plastic, bubble wrap plastic, and wood, which we should use two materials. One which is for recyclable, and the pallet. Yeah. The wood comes from pallet, and the recyclable material was that one.
I was looking at the design itself and the height and how I could make it lean. So I was looking at angles, and I came up with this. There was a lot of thought going into the sketches, and then as the developments went on and I made a few prototypes, I realised some of the issues that I had. So I came up with this one in the end. This was after a lot of trial and error.
The frame is easy because you can put you know it's square and you know how many people are going to sit in it. The difficult part is actually how to express the simplest things, that's cardboard, and make it look elegant.
I like to sketch a lot, and I'm not really a hands-on man, so a lot of the ideas that I had, I sketched them out well, but actually bringing them to fruition was difficult for me. But as I took it on and as I started getting my hands dirty, I started figuring out ways I can make it better and more efficient, and also because obviously we have to consider it not to be hazardous, so I had to consider those issues as well.
The most challenging was definitely working in the workshop because I've never worked with any of those tools, so the palette bit was definitely quite challenging, you know, having to use, making sure that I extended it and using the bolts and the rod and everything.
I think the most enjoyable part was just to have it, you know, and my teacher a few days ago told me that a shop actually picked it.
Oh, that's what was the missing one.
The colours of the wallpaper kept me going.
Yeah.
It was very interesting seeing the process. Like, I love how I was given the opportunity to create something that usually we're just sketching and making little models, but no one gets to see it. So it was quite interesting that someone is going to experience it, someone else gets to see it, and there's a client.
Yeah.
Each board tells a story. So each board of palette tells a story. So these were I collected from one of my colleagues. It was a scrap that he didn't want to use. So I thought, rather than waste it, let me apply in my work. And so this top half, none of it is straight. It's all curved. Like there's some parts that are straight. So when I was sanding, there was a piece of wood, which is this side. It was covered in sand and oil, and that told a story to me, and I didn't want to erase that. So that's one thing. So I didn't want to cover up any of the stories. I didn't want to cover up that it was used maybe to transport from ship to shop, or from shop to shop, or factory to shop. So I wanted to leave that there just to say, I'm not taking away, I'm just adding something extra to it. So this extra was the cardboard, and the cardboard has a story as well. It's a combination of cardboard from Brighton Market, where I live, and cardboard from the Marylebone High Street, cardboard from Ryman's. They're very helpful. And also, what's interesting about cardboard is that we use it flat. No one ever checks the cross section. So if I can take out a piece if you want me to.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Oh my gosh, it comes out. That's incredible.
So the cross section
Yeah.
is elegant yet simple.
Yeah.
So it's something everybody doesn't really pay attention, but I wanted to bring that into light, that when you stack it together, it creates something unique. So each angle when you stand up, you see something different. Yeah, and also it's not bound together by glue. It's all just physics, compression.
Personally, I love Marylebone. It's such a lively place. Yeah, I think just the people around, everyone's busy and people live here. I just love the place.
It's very inspirational because we are in the centre. We're quite lucky because we're surrounded by museums, even just the shop front. Every time there's designs within them and you could just walk past and you see something and then it just clicks in your head and you come into uni and you've got an idea for that class. So
I like the work of Zaha Hadid. She uses organic forms, and I've got circles here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like her work.
Zaha Hadid. I love Zaha Hadid not by the way that she do, but the way that the things that she draw comes from. That's amazing for me. Not properly the hair design, but the way that she go through to achieve that. I'm always following that.
I hope I get a job within like commercial design. I love doing out of the box things.
I hope to work in an interior and architecture firm, maybe abroad, for example, Dubai, just a year's experience maybe, and then see where I go from there.
I have an internship already lined up at a place called M4 Group. It's an architectural firm. And then at the end of next year, when I graduate, I'm only going to apply to one firm. And if I don't get it, then I'm just going to go traveling.
I hope to continue to make, never stop making, never stop exercising all of that I've learned. And so I hope to work for an interiors company for an internship for a while, but do this on the side.